My golden child sister tried to kiss my husband after I gave birth, then claimed he got her pregnant. Now her lies are forcing us to take her to court. Okay, so the key players in this story are me, F27, my husband Kareem, 40, and my little sister Tasha, 13, and my mom, 58. Then, for context, my mom and dad had Tasha as a last resort to fix their failing marriage, and I am nearly 9 months pregnant, like legit 3 weeks out, and my husband, he is a second-generation immigrant. Now, we weren't trying, but we were excited when we found out about the baby. We waited until we were out of the first trimester and told everyone after that. Kareem's family is super excited and can't wait to bring the baby to their home country. My mom was happy when we told her, but made some grumbling remarks about being too young to be a grandma. I presumed she was joking. My dad, we told him separately. He gets on great with my husband and he said he would help Kareem and I with anything baby related. At first, Tasha was excited about how she's the youngest auntie, and it was cute. She is spoiled, and I don't want to call her a brat, but she can get an attitude when things don't happen how she wants. But then, once we told everyone we were having a girl, she went quiet. We didn't do a big announcement, just told people when we saw them. And we both have busy jobs and I kept working until recently. Luckily, I can work remotely if needed. My dad, he was excited to be a girl granddad, and in some ways I've been closer with him after the divorce. My mom put all of her effort into Tasha and making sure she was okay, as she was the youngest, and she's a bit of a golden child for my mom. Then, Kareem's family got him a t-shirt that has a joke about being a girl dad on it. I've always said he gives off girl dad energy, so it's funny. Then, when I got big, at around the 5-month mark, I was really ill. I had hyperemesis gravidarum and was admitted to the hospital. I have a heart condition, so there was always a worry about side effects during the pregnancy. And Tasha refused to visit me in the hospital, meaning my mom didn't come either, but I understood why a 13-year-old might not want to come to a hospital. However, she became so standoffish and rude to myself and my husband, scoffing when we talk about the baby girl, joking how emotional I was, saying it's more trouble than it's worth with my heart. She said we stole her favorite name when we announced it was Adley. She has never said that name before. She also joked about how fat I had gotten. Kareem had had enough at this point and told her to grow up, but my mom defended Tasha, saying she's probably just a bit jealous about no longer being the youngest in the family anymore. I tried to talk and ask her what's wrong, but she got an attitude again and told me that I'm making everything about myself and the baby. Then, we were discussing my birthing plan on a family FaceTime and how I have to have a planned C-section to reduce the stress on my heart. I am a bit nervous, but I've had surgery before, and I was trying to get my dad to calm Kareem down, and I asked him if he would be in the waiting room, and he was really happy, and he asked if he could bring along his good friend. We all know she's his girlfriend, but they won't admit it, and he thinks he's too old for that. She's been sweet and knitted some baby blankets, so we agreed to her visiting after the birth. Then, I got a call from my mom and Tasha, who were really angry I hadn't invited them to the birth, or told them I had to have a planned C-section. I told them Tasha had complained about me only speaking about the baby, and my mom told me not to be so flippant. Tasha was rolling her eyes when mom asked about the surgery, and I know she's 13, but something about it seems so calculated from her. My mom asked me to be there, and I said she could be in the waiting room if she would be nice to dad. Tasha started talking about how long it would take, but I informed her she was only invited to visit after Adley had been born. Now, her and mom are blowing up, saying I'm cruel for letting a random friend of dad's visit, but not letting my little sister be there for her niece's birth. I'm sad as I hoped the pregnancy would bring my mom and I closer, but alas. Edit. I just remembered something else that happened. Tasha walked into our garden one afternoon without any notice and didn't tell us, and she saw us making out on the swing chair. Nothing scandalous, but my hormones have been all over the place, and she made a comment like, "No wonder you're pregnant if that's all you do." And she's also been perfectly nice to Kareem throughout the pregnancy. It's just me she has the attitude with. Edit number 2, next day. As some people can't seem to understand, I will reiterate. I've tried connecting to Tasha. I've tried communicating and comforting her. I've tried getting her excited about being an auntie. She's made cruel comments about my weight, I used to have an ED, and how I'm an attention seeker to get pregnant. She literally slammed a door in me, causing me to hurt myself. And she's been all over my husband, but ignoring me to my face. And she made a comment about me not keeping my legs shut. This isn't about her being confused. She knows what childbirth and pregnancy is. She also banned our mom from visiting me when I was rushed to the hospital and had complained about me talking about the baby, so I didn't include her in the conversation about the birth. She's not angry because I'm trying to keep her away from the baby, she's angry because I'm pregnant and she will no longer be the youngest girl. I would like to add that the family dynamic was pretty good until I got pregnant. She was mom's favorite, but dad doesn't do favorites. Then in the comments section, OP elaborated if Dad walked out on Tasha and said, "No, my dad is still very active in Tasha's life. He just doesn't spoil her constantly like Mom." And I don't know where some of you are saying that he walked out. I've said my mom asked for the divorce, not him. So no, he didn't walk out. Then some people take issue with OP's description of Tasha being born to save her parents' marriage and say she obviously doesn't care or spend enough time with Tasha. So, guys, I'm not passive-aggressive towards her. I was simply saying that's why my parents had her later on in life, to explain our age difference. I've always tried to help Tasha, even through our different ages. We've invited her to our house for weekends and so on. But I have to protect myself and my baby, and I don't understand why she's acting so hostile towards me and not my husband. Then OP replied to a similar comment and said, "Okay, I'm sorry, how has she tried to clearing communicate with me? She's blocked my number and runs away from me when I try to talk to her." She explained, saying all I do is talk about the baby, so I thought I wouldn't go into detail about the birth plan if she wasn't interested, and tried to encourage us to spend time together before the birth. I got nothing in return. She physically pushed me and banned my mom from visiting me in the hospital when I was sick. I said Dad's friend could visit, not stay, as she has given us some stuff for the baby. Mom hadn't been involved with me or the baby because of Tasha, which is fine, but why would they want to be at the birth? Then some people in the comment section encourage OP to sympathize with her sister more and said, "Guys, it's hard to sympathize with her when she's being so cruel to me. She knew the comment about me being fat would hurt. I've struggled with an eating disorder. Also, it was my dad's family FaceTime, and the divorce was bitter on my mom's side. My dad is a great dad to Tasha, and they have a good father-daughter relationship, but her and my mom are besties. She's the golden child. As I was relatively a grown-up when the divorce happened, Mom didn't really worry how it would make me feel, so she put her effort into Tasha. I understand that's because she's younger, but I had hoped me becoming a mom would make her want to do things with me, maybe teach me how to be a mom. And Tasha isn't being treated like an adult, but she's not a toddler. She's physically hurt me and insulted me. As a mom, I have to protect my infant baby, not my teenage sister. Also, she's the one making the competition, not letting our mom visit me and refusing to even talk to me so I can reassure her." And then finally, some users ask OP if Tasha is dealing with the divorce and said, "So, not really. She lives with Mom, but she sees Dad very regularly. We've offered therapy, but she said she doesn't need it because she's not crazy, unlike some people. I had an eating disorder when I was her age, so I believe she's referring to me going to therapy then and still now." Update: 2 days later. So I want to address the comments saying I'm a bad sister. I hate Tasha. I need to reassure and comfort her and show her sympathy. We had a normal sister relationship until I announced my baby was a girl. Then she got an attitude change, but only with me. I've been trying to reach out and ask for her reasons for being so horrible to me, calling me names, and saying things about my baby, but she ignores me and won't talk to me. So I don't know what else I'm expected to do. I understand being a 13-year-old girl is hard. I was one once, but I didn't act like this. It's not my place to have to parent Tasha when she has 2 parents, and a mom that spoils her, and when I'm about to have my own baby. My pregnancy has been hard and risky, and there is still a chance my daughter could be born with my heart defect. This and all of the stress caused by my mom and Tasha has meant I've not been able to enjoy my pregnancy. I had hoped it would make our mom want to be involved with me more, but unfortunately Tasha has done everything she can to ensure my mom has not been involved or helpful. While my husband is patient and polite, he doesn't like the way they are treating me, and he certainly doesn't like the pressure it has put on me. Then Tasha and my mom turned up unannounced to our house today, wanting another explanation as to why they couldn't be at the hospital. I again said as long as Mom was civil to Dad, she could be in the waiting room, but Tasha would have to visit after I've rested and made sure the baby girl is okay. I said she had moaned for all of my pregnancy that it's all I ever talk about, so surely she would have no reasons to want to be there. Then she got angry and threw a mug at the wall, saying she wanted to be there as that's where everyone else would be, and she shouldn't have to be on her own and be bored. I told her that it was not a fun day out. I would be having major surgery and people want to meet my daughter. Then she screamed, saying I'm an attention whore for not giving birth the normal way, and demanded to our mom that they go home. So they left as quickly as they had arrived. I don't know what my mom plans on doing, but yeah. Edit. 2 days later. Well, those of you who said not to tell anyone when I gave birth were right in a way. Woke up to cramps and blood-tinged water in our bed. So Kareem rushed me to the hospital where my OB said I was in early labor caused by all of the stress most likely. There was too much pressure on my heart and it was causing the baby to be in distress. So they put me under and gave me an emergency C-section. And then I woke up this morning to my husband holding our beautiful daughter in his arms. She's perfect with a healthy heart and a good pair of lungs. She's so beautiful and I didn't know I could love something so much. She's such a good girl and we've spent the morning together as a family. We will be inviting my dad to the hospital tomorrow. And thank you for the help and wishes, and I'm sorry I couldn't respond to many because it's been very chaotic. Update number 2. 1 day later. Hey guys, I'm just really effing confused right now, but thank you all for following my story and giving me advice. Rest assured, we won't be leaving Adley alone with Tasha. If you want context, my first 2 posts are on my profile. Basically, after giving birth yesterday, I have to stay in for a week as it was an emergency surgery. As we had rushed to the hospital, we didn't have all the things I needed, so Kareem went back home to pack a bag of things for me. He stopped off at my dad's and apparently Tasha was with him. Kareem was polite and Dad was asking lots of questions about Adley and I, and he left the room to get the presents he and his girlfriend had gotten for us, and Kareem was left with Tasha. Apparently, she was all over him, but not asking any questions about myself or Adley. Kareem said she threw herself at him and tried to kiss him, but he swerved up and got abruptly up, telling my dad that they needed to do something with Tasha as she was out of control. And he told me what happened as soon as he got back to the hospital. He's really worried that people, my mother, will make him out to be a bad person. And I think my dad has cameras in the house, so I'm going to ask him if there are any in the hallway. Edit. Tasha has texted me. Safe to say, she's not being abused, and no, my mother doesn't have any male friends in the house. Tasha sent me a text message saying she was sorry for trying to kiss Kareem, but I've stolen everyone's attention, and apparently even our mother was asking about me yesterday. She sometimes literally refers to our mother as her mother. She then said I had to make it all about me by having Adley early, and she wanted someone to pay attention to her and felt like Kareem hadn't spent enough time with her recently. And he's been kind to Tasha in the past. And we've had her at our house before and taken her on trips, but obviously he's been busy making sure me and the baby have been okay during the pregnancy. Edit number 2. Next day. Thanks for the support, guys. I developed a blood clot last night, so I was rushed into another surgery to deal with that, and Kareem called my dad's girlfriend to stay with him as he was nervous and my dad was with Tasha. She helped him calm by all accounts and showed him how to bathe Adley, which I'm very thankful for. She also baked me my favorite cake when I woke up this morning. It was so effing good. And anyways, Kareem is fuming with my mother and Tasha and how they've ruined this experience for us. And he wants to send my mother my hospital bill as I wouldn't have needed the emergency surgeries without the stress. We're going to take a trip once I'm released from the hospital to the countryside and get some distance between us and them. Then in the comments section, one user said, OP, your sister is one phone call away from ruining your husband's life. Make sure you have documented what she says. Yes, we have the footage and my mom made her ring Kareem to apologize tonight. Then OP ponders more on the situation and said, honestly, I feel like I've been blind to her showing her crush on Kareem. It never crossed my mind, but if I look back, I can remember her saying things or doing things that weren't out of love for an uncle. And thank you. Honestly, he feels really bad about it and has promised he's never done anything to give that impression, which I 100% know. And if I thought she had been groomed, I would be out of my hospital bed and in her room right now. We've tried putting her in therapy, but she refuses, saying she isn't weak and doesn't need it like me. Update number 3. Hey guys, I've just been busy soaking up all of the baby's happiness. I'm doing well, thank you all for your well wishes, and to the moms giving advice on how to recover from C-sections. Adley is such a sweet little girl. She's quiet and so well-behaved and looks the most adorable in her little Taylor Swift cardigan that my dad's friend knitted her. She was always playing the albums in utero. And we have sent my mom the hospital bill. I'm not actually sure whether I'll go through with making her pay as we have better salaries than she does, but a little part of me would love to see her face right now. And she sent me some annoyed text messages about it, but I've told her that perhaps Tasha's allowance and clothes and beauty spending should be reduced to help, but we will see. New update, 6 months later. Hey everybody, I'm not even sure if people want an update, but people do still comment on the other posts. So, 3 months after my last update, I had recovered from my surgery, and Kareem, Adley, and I have been able to go on a trip to the countryside to de-stress. Then I got a random DM on Instagram from somebody, and when I looked, she was following Tasha. Let's call her Lily. And, well, Lily tells me that she needed to ask me something, because Tasha has been telling their friend group something worrying. I bet you don't know what I'm going to say. Tasha had been going around school saying that her and my husband were having an affair. I couldn't even respond, I was so effing livid. Never mind how weird it is for her, it's so dangerous to be saying that even amongst her friends. It puts my husband at such risk to be accused of awful things. So that was when I had had enough. I floored it to my mother's house and slammed in to find Tasha, and she was sat there like nothing was happening and just smirked, making my blood boil. And I'll admit, I lost it a bit and screamed at her that she was unhinged and needed to be locked up, that it wasn't normal for a 14-year-old to want her sister's husband in life. Then our mom came in asking what the hell was wrong with me. And I grabbed both Tasha and my mother by their shirts and said she had 1 week to sort her crap out because we were going to the police for defamation. I just wanted to go home and snuggle my baby, but I stopped at my dad's and I filled him in on the matter and told him what I told Mom and Tasha, and he was completely floored. Lily was good. She said she didn't think what Tasha had been saying was real and thought I needed to know, and she said she told the others that Tasha was lying. Then I got some messages from my mom that night about me projecting my feelings, about not being a good enough mother or wife onto Tasha. I don't breastfeed, and at the time was still on maternity leave because of the C-section, but I intended not to be off of work for too long and would be sending her to a daycare. And then also made comment on my weight, knowing I was scared of struggling with my eating disorder again postpartum. Tasha had told her how she had no clue what I was on about, and she really knew where to hit me. I won't lie. Kareem told me to put my phone off and rest, so I did. And when I woke up, Adley was in the bath and Kareem had ordered us food in. We consulted with our lawyer and made a statement to the police about all of the abuse and lies we had suffered from Tasha and my mom. We were told that they were both warranted to stop, otherwise they would try to press charges. And I've tried to avoid them since, although I've heard them berating me and my parenting through others. And we went to Turkey to see Kareem's family for Christmas, and it was lovely. And then finally, in the comments section, one user said, "Well, OP, at least your sister's friends are starting to see the truth." Yes, I think her friends are freaked out by her spiraling behavior. We have the text from beforehand stating that she tried kissing Kareem because she was jealous. So our lawyer said that that will be useful. So, guys, if I can give my personal opinion on the matter, you know how sometimes we read these stories and it involves some psychopath or a crazy person, but usually they're an adult or an older person or a parent. Well, this is like the young Sheldon equivalent of that. This is the origin story of the psychopaths that we read about in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. This is a horrible person in the making, enabled by a mother who does not care about OP. Let's just be frankly honest. I do think that throughout the story when I was reading, I thought maybe you just need to be straight up with Mom and just tell her how you feel and saying hey, I thought this would be a good opportunity for us to bond. I would hope that you, Mom, would teach me how to be a mom. But I don't even feel like a conversation would work. I feel like a frontal lobotomy is what is needed, most definitely on Tasha, but most definitely on the mother as well, because I feel like we have not dived deep into how horrible a person she is. I want to scream, I want to do a backflip, but I can't do either of those things. It's not good for me. But oh my god, I was just getting mad reading this story, so I can only imagine what OP and Kareem were going through. And you know what? I hope things do go to court so that they can get locked up and then they force Tasha to go to therapy or something. I don't know. But anyway, guys, we are at the end of the video. Thank you all so much for watching, commenting. Have a really good day, and